FIFA is planning to expand the number of teams for the next World Cup 2026 to have 104 matches in total. All federations will get more tickets so more teams can join the celebration. Qatar 2022's group stage has barely concluded and FIFA is already organizing the next FIFA World Cup, which will be hosted by 3 nations for the first time in its existence: Canada, the United States, and Mexico. The tournament, which is still 3.5 years away, will have a game increment. The reason is said to make a bigger show and, obviously, to generate many millions more. To this end, the world's top soccer body plans to change the tournament's format to have a total of 104 matches throughout the competition, 32 teams in the knockout phase. According to The Guardian, FIFA will change its initial idea of having 16 groups of 3 teams each, for a very long group phase of 12 sectors with 4 teams each, to advance to a round of 32 teams to start the knockout phase. Currently, the 32 teams are divided into 8 groups of 4 teams each, where the first and second place of each group advance to the round of 16. 104 matches in total. With this change, the 2026 World Cup would have a total of 104 matches, 40 more than those scheduled for Qatar 2022, including group stage and qualifiers. Among other changes, according to The Athletic, FIFA is considering that in case of a tie in the group stage, the matches will be defined in a penalty shootout to determine a winner. And there will be a much clearer tiebreaker than those currently applied, where even the number of cards or even a tombola can define the ticket to the second round. Penalties as tiebreakers. FIFA's idea is that, in case of a win, the winner would get 3 points and a winner in penalties, after a draw in regular time, would get 2 points, while the loser of the shootout would get 1. How many places will each confederation have in North America 2026? The next World Cup will grant 16 more tickets than those granted until now. One of the most beneficial confederations will be CONCACAF, which, in addition to the 3 direct tickets for the hosts, will have another 3 qualification slots. This is the breakdown by confederation. UEFA will raise the number of available tickets from 13 to 16. CAF, 9 direct tickets and half a ticket to be played via playoffs. CAF will have 8 direct tickets. CONMEBOL, 6 direct tickets and half a ticket to be played via playoffs. CONCACAF, 3 direct tickets and an additional half quota via the playoffs. OFC, for the first time in history, it will have 1 direct ticket and half an additional ticket via the playoffs. FIFA Qatar World Cup 2022, the most exhilarating matches of the group stage. These were some of the best matches of the World Cup Qatar 2022 so far. The Qatar 2022 World Cup has been very exciting and completely atypical. The group stage ended today and, of course, it finished with big surprises, one of them being the performance of the Asian Football Confederation, as it has more teams in the second round than CONMEBOL and CONCACAF, which only keeps the USMNT in Africa, where Senegal and Morocco remain in the competition. The AFC's remaining teams are Australia, Korea, and Japan, the 3 teams with surprising performances, while Saudi Arabia and Iran also achieved great surprises in the Cup. On the other hand, we have also had great disappointments such as Germany, Denmark, Belgium, Uruguay, Mexico, Ecuador, Canada, and even the host, which lost its 3 matches. These are the matches that surprised spectators in the group stage of Qatar 2022. Argentina 1-2 Saudi Arabia. The first big surprise of the tournament was Saudi Arabia's victory over Argentina in their opening game in Group C. Argentina from the 10th minute with a Leo Messi penalty. But the Green Eagles were inspired in 5 minutes and turned it around at the start of the second half, including a Salem Al-Dawsari wonder goal to disrupt all combinations in the pack. Argentina rallied and Arabia eventually faded. Ecuador 1-1 Netherlands. In Group A, Qatar disappointed from the opening whistle against Ecuador, who looked very solid. In fact, the South American side surprised in their second match against the Netherlands, earning a historic 1-1 draw, with Ener Valencia scoring the only goal. But more surprising was their third match against Senegal, as they only needed a draw to advance and lost 2-1, leaving them out of the competition. Iran 2-0 Wales. The big surprise of Group B was Iran's last-minute victory over Wales, who looked like they could fight much harder after a great performance at Euro 2021. However, 2 goals in second-half stoppage time by Rouzbeh Cheshmi and Ramin Rezaeian left the British with 1 foot out, after a good draw against the United States in their debut. Australia 1-0 Denmark. In addition to favourites France, who came to the Cup with a hospital in the squad, Australia was the surprise of the pack by defeating Denmark 1-0, with Matthew Leckie scoring in the decisive match. The Vikings could only draw against Tunisia, who, for their part, pulled off another upset in their farewell match by beating France's substitutes 1-0. Japan. The Japanese team is one of the great entertainers of the World Cup, as it was placed in Group E along with Germany and Spain and looked like a victim. However, they came from behind against the Germans in their presentation with goals from Ritsudon and Takuma Asano, both in the final stretch, and dealt a death blow to one of the historic teams of world soccer. The Japanese lost their second match against Costa Rica, who were beaten by Spain in their opening match, but in the third match, they also came from behind to surprise La Roja with goals from Doan and Aotanaka, and not only qualified from the group of death over Germany, but they also qualified as group leaders. Morocco 2-0 Belgium. Speaking of great disappointments, the Red Devils, who, although they beat Canada in their opening match, were defeated in their second game by the best Moroccan team in history, 2-0, with goals by Romain Sayas and Zakaria Abakal. The African team advanced as group leader, while Belgium's golden generation could only get a draw against Croatia and was eliminated in their last match. Cameroon 1-0 Brazil. Talk about a historical game with the indomitable Lions facing Brazil as they had never defeated the Cameroon. Brazil qualified for the match and awaited the return of its main star, Neymar, while Cameroon was eliminated on goal difference against Switzerland, but achieved the historic victory with a goal by Vincent Aboubakar at 90+2, although he was sent off immediately afterward. Korea 2-1 Portugal. Portugal had nothing to play for in their final match against the Koreans. However, the Asian Tigers needed a win and a combination of results to advance, and it all came together. They managed to beat the Portuguese and Uruguay and were a goal short in their victory over Ghana to advance. Korea had been trailing since the 5th minute, but in the 27th minute Kim Young-gwon equalized, and in the added time, Hwang Hee-chan gave them the pass over Uruguay.